morphine penile surgery. Administration.
And what? In and out, done.
Just in and out. Yeah, it just administered your ass takes on the morphine from the Dr. Venus. And it's the only way, really.
In and out.
Yeah, in and out. Up once, okay, and out.
And it'll definitely work.
You will. The pain will go away.
No side
It'll
effects.
be pleasurable.
No side effects.
Anything.
No side effects. No.
I'd probably call Auntie Nora and ask if she's had it yet.
Can I just return us back to where we started from? Because in Ricky's introduction, he said that modern man, in a sense, with all the technology we have, can play God. And this is something which is huge now. A lot of ethical discussions about things like stem cell research. Should we be interfering in what should be a godly terrain? You say no straight away. Straight away, no.
I think it's sort of like messing about now. I think that's the problem. We've got the tools and they like to use them. And that's what happens. I've got a sander for Christmas, and I can't wait to sand stuff. I can't even think of enough things that need sanding, but I want to use it. And
Not
that's the
scruffy
same,
sander.
And that's the problem, innit? If you've got the tools, you can't have the tools and say, pop them in the shed. Well, no, I don't want to use them. Got a new tool here.
Right.
Sand the shed down.
That's the problem, innit? All these medical people. That's what happened in the Hulk, innit?
Yeah. Well, again, that's. I'll just say that is a work of fiction. The Hulk
Yeah, but with all fiction
comes.
the future.
Yeah.
So
Certainly in science fiction.
But the problem is, this is what I say is the problem. We can sum it up here if you like. I think
Go
it
on.
sums it up.
Go on. No, this is.
Is it a quote from someone?
Well, yeah, he is one for sound bites, and it just saves a lot of time. Carl's quote, you don't have to study the book or anything. So let's sum it up there. We're gonna end it here, but we're gonna end it with this quote from Carl Pilkington. Carl, shoot me.
People are living too long.
Okay, that's your summary of medicine.
Well, yeah,
history
it
of
is,
medicine.
because it's kind of now. You see, I agree with medicine to stop pain because it's depressing pain. Stop the pain. I'd say, as soon as we sorted that out, and we started saying, "Do you want a new face?" That's way over the line.
Yeah.
No one should be getting a new face unless they're really disfigured.
Yeah.
But those are the people who are getting new faces.
No, they're not. There's people messing about.
Yeah, no, it's people.
Well, plastic surgery, but that's people's own choice. They're paying for it.
No,
It's
it's
up to them.
ridiculous. I know, but
It's not taking it away from other people, is it?
Yeah, it is, because the person who's messing about with someone's face could be doing something
No,
else.
because they're plastic surgeons. They're privately employed.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be. They
What are
should
you
be
talking
sorting
about?
someone else out who's got a little funny head. They shouldn't be messing about with
Pushing
someone who's got
himself
nothing wrong with
forward,
them.
trying to get some free treatment.
Get some free
And it
treatment
never
for
looks right anyway. They spend all that money, it never fits properly.
Yeah,
No.
but this is what annoys me about
Fish
Carly.
lips and
It just looks wrong.
that stupid little skeletal nose.
You'd be
and all
better
the-
off changing the head, all of it, rather than messing about with the face, because it never fits properly.
But you've completely, as a form of summary, you have completely gone off tangent.
No,
on
That's
the
not a
mark.
summary yet. Sum up.
Right,
I have one
right,
more go.
so-
This is the real one.
Yeah.
Okay, Carl. Sum up our global guide to medicine. Go.
Today's cure. Today's cure is something like that. It'll be something like today's cure is tomorrow's headache. It's all right,
That's all right.
because what I'm saying there is
Go on.
we can come up with stuff. We can come up with a tablet to get rid of headache. Tomorrow your headache's gone, your leg's hurting.
So today's cure is actually tomorrow's leg ache. So today's cure is tomorrow's leg ache.
Yeah, but ages ago I said to you, don't solve problems,
Yeah.
because a problem solved is a problem caused.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
I don't remember that quote. But okay, so finally, in summation, what you said was
So, okay,
At the end of
So-
the day, we've all got to die of something.
right.
Now, Albert might come in. I'm a doctor. Right, Albert, how are you today? What's wrong with you today, Albert?
I've got an inflammation of the testicular
region.
Right.
Oh, my scrotal sac is all stretchy and swollen. It's pustulating, and it's causing the penis to be all red and inflamed, and that spread to the anus.
Right. Take these tablets.
Right, where do I put them?
Just have them with some water after a bath.
Okay, I'm not gonna have a bath. I can't have a bath of these because honestly, you see these get in a bath and they start bubbling with the.
Yeah, like I say, just take the tablet.
I don't know what it is, but look at it. It's like a mess. It's like quite a mess down there. I can't.
Take the tablets. Take the tablets and come back. In a week's time. Let me know how it goes.
Okay.
Right. So
Do you know what it is?
Let's imagine that perfectly normal scenario has happened. What is your point?
Right, he'll come back the week after.
Yeah.
The problems downstairs will be sorted.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's 76. He's going to have something else wrong with him. I do another check on you, and even though your sack is sorted...
They're not quite right, to be honest.
No, but they're better.
Well, it swings and roundabouts because
well, that's life. That's life, Albert.
The penis is much more functional. The testicles are really they've lost all their skin. It's just like a bag of spaghetti just hanging on the chair. And the arse. The arse is the itchiest arse I've ever had. I've had to, at some points, I've got blood under my fingernails from scratching my anus. So it's not completely cured.
And this is why no one wants to be a doctor anymore.
We hope you enjoyed the audiobook A Ricky Gervais Guide to Medicine. Coming soon, Ricky Gervais Guide to Natural History, out February.
This is Audible.
Hello, I'm Ricky Gervais. The English biologist Thomas Huxley once wrote, "To a person uninstructed in natural history, his country or seaside stroll is a walk through a gallery filled with wonderful works of art, 9/10 of which have their faces turned to the wall. Teach him something of natural history, and you place in his hands a catalogue of those which are worth turning around. To some, the wonders and intricacies of the natural world are a miracle, living proof of the existence of God. To others, the natural world is a wondrous illustration of Darwinian evolution." To discuss the complexities of plant and animal life, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, graduate of the University of Warwick, an award-winning writer.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Carl Pilkington, a man with no qualifications, very little education, but who is now known the world over as a man with a head like a fucking orange.
Right.
Natural history obviously takes in everything to do with animals, plants, bacteria, which are in neither group. I should start by just saying, Carl, that the natural world is so diverse that we don't even know how many species there are. Conservatively, there's 2 million species of animals. I mean, without even taking in plant life, there are at least 2 million species of animal. With plants and animals, there could be up to 10 million species. There are 37,000 different species of spider alone. What do you think of that?
It's a lot.
It is, isn't it?
A lot. But if there's loads of stuff out there that we don't know about, and we don't know what it's doing, is it that important? Is it worth finding them now?
Well, yeah.
Why?
Well, it may give us the key to unlock other mysteries.
A spider won't.
Well, it might do.
A spider won't be unlocking any mysteries.
Well, that's totally...
Plants are different. I reckon there's a natural cure.
Have toxins that are used in medicine.
Yeah, I know that we use dangerous spiders to get rid of headaches or whatever, or they do in the tribes, right?
Yeah,
Do you want to just expand on that point?
It's just that's what they do in tribes. They've got all natural. All these tribes, they've got all natural remedies. They go, what's up with you? You got a sore ankle? Chew on this twig, and it works. I've seen it. They've sent women out there, and like they couldn't believe the stuff they can do with twigs and trees and hedgehogs and stuff. I'd
It wasn't
say
an in-depth analysis, was
No.
what I'm saying.
Women, they just sent some women out there,
Well,
apparently.
it? Yeah.
I reckon the stuff that's got venom in it that's useful. We probably know about all them because it's,
It doesn't make any sense. We probably know about all of them.
What I mean is the police know about the gangsters, but
Right.
they go, right, we're aware of them, let
Right.
them get on with it. We'll keep our eye on them. And it's the same in the jungle. The spiders, the deadly ones you're aware of. The ones that are just pottering about, you go, don't even worry about them, don't even give them a name. They're not doing anything.
But what if there's another poisonous spider they haven't identified yet, that lurking in the undergrowth?
I'd be very surprised.
So you'd be very surprised.
I'd be surprised if there was
It
something...
sounds like laziness on your part.
But they're
No,
discovering
it's
new
not.
species all the time.
We know about all the dangerous stuff now, because we have to, we live in a
we
world
don't.
now. We do, we know about a lot of the dangerous stuff. Whenever they find something new now, it's like a new
look-
butterfly or...
Well, no, look at AIDS. When I was a kid, no one had ever heard of AIDS.
Yeah, but that's not a natural thing, is it? That's not like a spider or
What do you mean it's not a
like
natural
ladybird.
thing?
It's not a natural thing. It's not something that's... AIDS hasn't been like living under the soil for millions of years going, I'll wait till the 1980s and I come out and kill a load of people.
No, but it is a
It's a
natural
new thing.
Yeah,
It's new.
Yeah, but loads of animals are new, aren't they? I mean, evolutionary terms. There's new animals in evolution.
I'm sure there's new stuff deep down that's just like, almost like bacteria, sat under the soil, it'll never come to the top. Right? It's like having an old woman who's a neighbour. She never goes out, she doesn't bother you. Let her be.
But what if that old neighbour could unlock the secrets to...
I don't think she can.
Just even to us understanding the complexities of the universe, of the way things have developed and grown.
Because we know about it.
Well, why would we know about it? Because I never understand, why is it you want to stop researching and studying now? Why is it that you're happy to just draw a line under everything else? What if people had said this back in the 19th century?
We've done this. I think someone in the 1900s said everything that's going to be invented has been invented, and then look what happened in that century.
Yeah, and I've said to you, look at the stuff that is being invented now. The frisbee and stuff like that. It's all stuff that
Right.
like, you kind of go, it's alright, it's a good idea, but we don't need
Yeah,
it.
but the frisbee wasn't being worked on by the top brains of our generation. That was some novelty toy that some manufacturer made.
Yeah, but it's like, look at the fuss we made over that fella who came up with a Dyson vac. Everyone was like, he's up there with Einstein. Well, he's not. It's a good vac. It cleans up floors well and everything.
Who
But
said he's up there with Einstein?
It's
one of-
PR people.
in one of those programs where they did like great inventions of our time, it was easy early on. You go, Einstein, Newton did this, Archimedes, Dyson. And they started to run out because it is harder to come up with something new now. Because everything that's needed, remember, the things we've invented are things that we sort of go, we could do with that. Inventors don't sit there going, what can I make? Oh, I need a toaster. They've sat there, they've burnt the toast under the grill, and they've gone, I need some sort of device here.
Well,
that I can
somebody-
put bread in.
yeah.
And what can it do? I'll shape it like
Necessity
that
is the
and that.
mother of invention.
Yeah.
However, there are people who sit around going, "Where's a a loophole in the market? Where's a
Well,
a
here's
niche?"
something. About a year ago, I came up with a see-through toaster, so that you can see how much the toast is cooked.
Right.
I found it about 2 months after that. Someone had done it. So
Right.
I've just been beaten to the post.
Yeah, but all you're really doing, Carl, is
That's-
modifying an existing invention.
What other examples of being pipped at the post are there? It's got to be one that hasn't been done, or it's not your theory,
But
But
also something that unlocks a mystery.
or helps the world.
What's causing problems in the world at the moment that needs sorting?
Well, cures for things, faster transport, anything to do with security, anything to do with well-being. You know.
mean, obviously, environmental concerns are a big issue. People trying to design automobiles that
Fuel.
can run on different
Yeah.
alternative fuels.
I met a bloke on a conference once who sent a drawing to Blue Peter. It was their design a car of the future, and he sent them a drawing that was a car, and the only innovation was that you can have a shit while driving. And then he put shit goes down pipe, which becomes fuel. They must have looked at that and gone, what a maniac.
I think that's a brilliant... I mean, I've driven a long way. I drove to Cornwall recently, and I would have loved...
But I think he did it when he was
built
about
into the
9, and he must have thought, oh, I'm being driven to school, oh, I need the toilet, wouldn't it be good?
Well,
if
why
this-
hasn't that been done?
What?
Well, like Steve says, I've been in the same situation when you're driving and you go, oh, where's the service station? You see a sign saying 36 miles.
So what?
You're
So,
in agony.
so you suggest pull your trousers down and shit down in the seat that's a toilet?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Well, you got your nan in your back,
She's got one as well.
so you are going to Cornwall all shitting.
Well, not all the time, but it's more useful to me than a lighter.
So also, at what
do you
point
wash
do
your
you
hands?
wash your hands or
Yeah.
wipe your arse? At what point does that occur?
Oh,
At the
that's
end
a-
of the journey.
Oh God! So you get in, you have a shit at Deptford, and you wipe your arse at Polperro.
Yeah, but like I've said to you, this isn't like just people going, oh, I think I'll have one. You need one? Not really, but it's something to do, innit? I'm sick of playing I Spy, I'm having a shit. You have it when you really need one. When you have to pull off a motorway, it's a lot of messing about. There's probably going to be a queue at the toilet. No more queues at toilets.
10 minutes, Rick, that takes, doesn't it? 10
know,
minutes
yeah.
to
10
pull off,
minutes.
have a quick shit.
Driving along, it's just going on. It's just going on. Don't even know about it. Radio's on, everyone's happy. Doesn't matter. I don't know, I mean, we all do it as well, that's the thing.
Anything else you'd come up with? I mean, so far you come up with nothing. That was a 9-year-old boy's idea.
I mean, the Breville maker wasn't needed.
That's true.
What's
right.
a Breville maker?
It's like toasted sandwiches. But there's so many things, chocolate fountains, anything like that. I just go, what are these? Who's invented these? Who's okayed this idea? And yet I can't have a shit on the motorway.
Think of computers.
What about them?
Well, I mean, that's in the last few years. You know, in 100 years in our existence. Okay, they've been dabbling with anything even close to a computer. Nothing before that.
Yeah, computers are a good thing, and it baffles me as to how they came about. When you think a computer chip is just made out of sand. Now, for someone to come up with that, you go, there must have been some sort of alien involved here.
What do you mean? Why do you think that? So I love it. So the frisbee, rubbish. Anything too clever? Well, it wasn't an invention. It was an alien. So there's nothing between frisbee and computer chip.
What I'm saying is, it's not even an idea, is it?
What do you mean?
A computer chip, where's that come from?
It's amazing.
Well,
It's astounding. Yeah.
So you think it was an alien? What are you talking about?
Great.
Because I can't believe that someone would go, right, I want to make something that will hold information and be able to do, I know, let's use some sand, we've got loads of that. You go, what, you don't...
Well, that's what genius is, though, isn't
Carl,
it?
there's no alien involved.
No, but when I say alien, I don't mean an alien came down here and said, you know, oh, do you want to buy this? There could have been
Yeah.
a spaceship crash, right?
Right. Yeah.
And there's all them rumours, isn't there, in that hangar. They've got the spaceship, they take it apart, they go, yeah, wheels, we've got them, yeah, steering wheel, yeah. And then they go, hang on, what's this here? And they find the chips, and they break it down, and they find
Carl,
it's sand.
but that as an explanation to human genius is nearly as ridiculous as the Adam and Eve explaining life on Earth. How could you tell that to someone without going red? I mean, I always worry about that, where people who believe in Adam and Eve, don't they wish there was a slightly better explanation? With all the evidence we've got, do you know what I mean? With all the evidence for evolution, that they think the Earth is 5,000 years old, and God made Adam out of some dust, and then he went, oh, I need a bird. It's alright, I'll make it out of your rib.
But
Right?
there's loads of things that you go, oh, this is a bit embarrassing. I bet Charles Darwin, when he said we've all come from apes, I bet he sat at home going, should I tell him about the frisbee first?
But the fact that sand makes computer chips is not the interesting thing. The interesting thing is how the human being discovered that, what am I talking about, sand makes computer chips, that silicon can have information put on it. But we're made out of oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, do you know what I mean? And hydrogen.
Yeah, but that's nature. You see,
Yeah.
nature is amazing. You can't beat nature, right?
No.
It comes up with some amazing things.
Yeah, but man is nature. Don't forget that we're an animal. We're a brilliant ape. Now, it's clear to any sensible, reasonable, educated person that we did evolve from apes, or rather, we had a common ancestry, and that we're closest to the chimpanzee. We're actually 98.6% genetically identical to a chimpanzee, Carl. We're closer to a chimp than a chimp is to a gorilla. Genetically speaking.
I just find that hard to believe when you
Well,
look
I'm
at
telling
it.
you it's true. So
No, but
what are you finding hard to believe?
Well, your eyes, your own eyes are what sort of comes up with a lot of thoughts.
No. One's eyes don't come up with thoughts.
No,
Two,
but what I'm saying is,
what you mean is
through your own
you
eyes,
look at things
you
and
judge.
make up your own
So if there was
decisions.
no Darwin or anything,
Yeah.
and I was sat somewhere, and someone
Yeah.
said, right, we're going to bring a few animals in, one of them's related.
Right. They're all related.
Alright, but they're all related to you, but one's not so long ago, right? And they brought them in, and they lined them up, and there was a chimp stood there,
Yeah.
and a gorilla,
Mm.
and what's another one?
Orangutan.
Right, yeah. Right, a girl, the orangutan, send that out. I'll be first to go, so he's definitely not linked to me.
See, I disagree, but there we go. That's just looking at you.
Yeah. So the hair colouring, there's none of that in our family.
Well, there's no air.
I like the fact that it loses out because it's ginger.
So that's gone. Right, so I'm left with a gorilla and a chimp.
Yeah.
I would go for the gorilla.
Well, it's a good
I'm
guess,
choosing
but you'd be wrong. So we are much closer to the chimpanzee, okay? 98.6% genetically identical. Think of that. We only differ on 1.4% of our genetic
that
makeup.
must be the arse. Because that's a lot different.
Animal rights is a hot topic.
It's a big issue.
What rights should they have? How do they compare to humans? You know, it's a well-known fact that we test on animals with the assumption that humans are more important. We test drugs on animals, and we're basically saying if they die, they die. We'll learn something from them. People do make distinctions between animals, right? They know that it's probably more acceptable to kill an ant than
Punch a cow.
yeah, exactly. You know, I think that comes again from how close are they to humans? Have they got a face?
But that's
Are they furry?
I told you, didn't I, about my dad's mate who had a monkey and he had to thump it.
What? Well, there's two things there. One, why did he have a monkey? Two, what sort of discipline is thumping a monkey? What was the monkey doing?
He was annoying his wife a lot and sort of, you know, pinching her arse and stuff.
How have we had all these years
I'm
of
sure I
monkeys?
told
We've
you
never
about
heard
it
this
ages
before.
ago.
Your dad had a mate who had a monkey?
Yeah, I'm sure I told you.
Why did he have a monkey? Just for a laugh?
Well, it was back in the day when people did. They all had like odd sort of pets, and
When?
that, didn't they? In like about 68.
Oh, 1968,
1968.
when everyone had a monkey.
But he had to thump it. Now the weird thing is,
No, that's weird enough.
Is this this is all the story? This is the entire story?
No.
You've got all the information you've got is he had a monkey and he had to thump it.
yeah, my dad told me about it when he found out that I was into monkeys. He said, "Oh, Benny thumped one," and
Benny thumped one. Oh, my son's into natural history, particularly simian variety. I've got an interesting fact for you, Carl. Sit down. What is it, Peter? Benny thumped one. Brilliant.
But what was interesting is the way that people are thumping other people all the time. No one bats an eyelid. Thump a monkey. People go, "You thumped a monkey."
Yes, they do. They do go. You thumped a monkey.
So that's what's weird, isn't it?
What, this chimp doesn't want to be caged and kept in a fucking council house in
No,
Manchester.
it was quite happy. And if
It
it wants to
wasn't
live like a
happy.
human, I mean, in the 70s, you know, there were all the teabag adverts and all that, and they were loving that.
No, they
when
weren't
people
loving it.
interfere, people go, "That's unfair." Now
They-
they're in like a cage in a zoo. You know, it was better when I was pushing a piano up a stairs.
They weren't really. They weren't really.
actual delivery, man.
They weren't really sitting down and having a cup of tea.
It wasn't a documentary. A week in the life of the monkey delivery man.
I love that. Chimps in a zoo now going. Fucking hell, at least we were free.
Remember when we used to drive a van?
And we're on 58 quid a week.
Yeah.
They're not meant to be kept in a house in Manchester. It's cool to keep a person in a house in Manchester, so it's fucking cool to keep a monkey.
Are you aware, Carl, that 99% of all forms of life that have existed on Earth are now extinct?
So there's only 1% of everything that's ever been still alive.
Yeah.
But that's just as well, isn't it?
Why?
Well, I think it's pretty crowded now. So it's just as well. You see, this is what I'm saying now. Years ago, they accepted that. Cavemen wouldn't have been going, "Oh, we're losing stuff's dying." Whereas now, everyone's, "Oh, the panda, polar bears, not got any ice," and all that. At the end of the day, the world's only so big, we know it's not getting any bigger. Right? Stuff's got to die, hasn't it? You can't keep everything.
Just think of that though, as a tool of natural selection, that the species that are surviving today are 1%. Just how amazing that is to survive and evolve. How perfect everything is on Earth. It's amazing.
No, but it'll drop off again, won't it? As we find in new stuff, other stuff will be dying.
Well,
in
things
that
that
1%, when that was written, when that statement was made, was the dodo gone or was it still here?
It was.
I'm pretty certain the dodo was gone.
It was gone already.
It doesn't matter though, does it? A percentage is a percentage.
Yeah, the dodo went. The last dodo died. They said
Yeah.
that was the last dodo. No
Yeah.
more dodos. But we found
This Dido still making great
Great
tunes.
albums.
But, yeah, we lost the Dodo, but we've got Dido.
A recent album's not sold very well, actually.
It's Dido.
dying out. Dying out. Everything has a lifespan.
Dido's dying out.
But and I think that's life. So it's not amazing, really.
That's
That
not
is-
either anymore.
No, that's not over. That's life's gone. That's gone. That was good.
What else?
Esther Ranson forced to just hang out in the jungle. now.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
When I went to Natural History Museum, there was a thing called a Cyther or something. Right, died out ages ago. No one knows about them, which is weird because everyone knows about the dodo.
Well, that's because it died out in, I think, was it 18th century or something, wasn't it?
Well, within what might term recent history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this thing's sort of. I don't think it was far behind it. It's just timing, isn't it? That got more press, the dodo. The Cyther or whatever it's called. It was a big thing. It was
Well,
a cross.
you've seen it and you still don't know what it's called.
Well, it's spelled awkwardly. But it's but they said it was a cross between a moose and a giraffe. Now we don't need that, do we? At no point have we said, do you know what we need here to get us through this?
Well, that's funny because when they first named the giraffe, they called it the camelopard because they thought it was a cross between a camel and a leopard.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that when zoologists examined a platypus for the first time, some of them thought it might have been a hoax, because they thought it could have been different parts of different animals sewn together. Because the platypus has the fur of an otter, the tail of a beaver, the bill and feet of a duck, and the venomous spurs of a fighting gamecock. So they assumed that it
It's
must
like
have
a
been a
scrap
hoax.
eat challenge of animals.
Yeah, I remember, right?
But they actually,
Sorry, go on, sorry.
well, just to clarify that, it actually is descended from a link between reptiles and mammals almost 150 million years ago, a sort of living fossil.
When I was about 13, 14, I once tried to improve the animal kingdom by making the hardest animal ever, the most perfect animal.
Now, just to clarify, you didn't, in sort of Frankenstein style,
No.
try and bolt various bits of animals together.
It was a drawing that I sent to Blue Peter. There was no competition going on.
You just thought they would be appreciated.
I thought they'd look at that and they'd go, well, these are genius.
Yeah.
This is like Da Vinci.
Sure.
And this is the animal. This is what I thought, the perfect animal. I mean, when I say perfect, I meant the hardest animal. This
Right.
animal, it could take anything. It was just the strongest, hardest, fastest. Right.
Yeah.
So, I started with the head of a lion.
Of course, that makes
Do you know what I mean?
perfect sense.
Oh, it looks good. Right, bite you, right? Okay. I popped that on the body of a rhinoceros.
Okay, so it's got the toughness, the armour, if you like.
It's full strength. Head of a lion. Think of that. So you've got this picture. Head of a lion, body of a rhino.
Perfect.
Okay? Hold on, though. Pop some arms on it. The front arms were the arms of a gorilla.
The arms of a gorilla.
So it
okay.
could punch, grip, it could make stuff. The lion, I mean, that's where the lion falls down, because it can't make stuff.
Sure.
It can't climb, you know. So, okay then, wait a minute. You think that's got enough weaponry?
Sounds like it.
No. Pop on the tail of a giant scorpion.
A giant scorpion?
Yeah, yeah.
So a
it's
scorpion that's the
so
size
it's
of a rhinoceros.
exactly. So the tail was as long as that rhino. So now this is a scary animal,
Yeah.
and this is where the animal fell down. I thought, right, legs. Well, the fastest animal is the cheetah.
Cheetah.
Popped on 4 cheetah legs.
4 cheetah legs.
It would have collapsed.
Crushed under
It
the
would have
weight of the
collapsed
rhinoceros.
immediately. So, yeah.
And you drew this, did you?
drew it, yeah.
Did you show it to anyone
Yeah,
else?
my mates went, that's brilliant.
Right.
I said, that's brilliant.
And then just sent straight to Blue Peter.
Yeah.
Any reply?
No reply at all.
Really?
No reply at all.
Surprised.
What do you think of that, Carl? What would you, how would you though, what would, if you wanted to make the ultimate fighting animal, what would you come up with? If you had the power, like that fella in Arabian Nights, size of a chimpanzee, you could change into anything, but you could change into, you know, like that.
I don't
But
think I'd go for strength and that. I'd go for survival.
What would you do?
Ah.
Cockroach.
I'd have like an armadillo's body.
Right. Okay. So that's as big as you can be now then. So you can't really pop on a lion's head because it'd just lay there going, I can't fucking move.
Alright. I'd have head of an owl.
Right.
The head of an owl.
Yeah. Why? What does that bring to the table?
The head's there to sort of make it look friendly to the
make it
human
friendly.
race. So
Okay.
because if you look half decent to the human race, they'll look after you.
Right.
That's the way it works.
Yeah,
Right? With
okay.
a cat and a dog and all that.
Okay.
So the owl makes it look nice.
Right.
I'd have I wouldn't have legs. I'd go for like the slug juice.
What do you mean? So now you're a really slow-moving, legless armadillo with the head of an owl.
Slithering along. How
Yeah.
is that going to be friendly? They'll see the beautiful face, but then they'll be terrified by the sludge.
No, because the head's that nice that they'll forgo the sludge.
But hold on though. But wait a minute. So it's got this thing that's stuck, right, going at 0.1 miles an hour, with a going whoo, right? You come over, you kick the head off. How is this
No,
a
because the
survival?
head can go into the thing like a tortoise.
Can it?
Yeah, of course it can. Into the armadillo body.
Well, no, an armadillo doesn't do that. It just curls up into a
No,
ball.
this isn't an armadillo, is it?
So it's
Why has it got the sludge? Why is that
Because
so attractive?
what I'm thinking is an armadillo. They're good when they're on their feet. Flip them, they get stuck like a tortoise.
Right.
Slug stuff keeps it down. So if anything attacks it, it's like a limpet or one of them things that can.
Why have a
stuff.
limpet then?
But it
No.
can't get any. How it can barely move. It can
Just
hardly
go and
get
just go
anywhere.
and kick it.
Just
Just
means
this.
it can't get
But how can
anywhere.
it escape from danger? It's going to move very
Rubbish.
slowly.
No, because
What, that's the
it'll
worst
lock itself in. It'll lock itself in.
Yeah, and then I just scoop it up on the
You can't
sand.
scoop it up. It locks itself in if it's in danger. I'd give it peacock feathers.
This is the worst animal.
Why has it got peacock feathers?
Again, it's just
It's
just
the worst animal I've ever heard.
Why has it got peacock feathers?
threatening. It looks more threatening.
It
That's what peacock
that's the
feathers do.
least threatening thing, peacock feathers. It's like Danny LaRue coming at you. There's
Yeah.
nothing remotely scary about peacock
Yeah,
feathers.
to humans, but
Yeah.
the humans won't be harming it because they like the owl head. People will like to have these things in the garden. They eat lettuce.
They eat lettuce. Why has it got a beak? They eat lettuce. He's telling them what it's going to eat now. The owl's going, fuck that, I want a mouse. I love the fact that he's based what it eats on the fact that how it moves a bit like a slug.
Yes,
Let it eat
yeah.
lettuce. It moves that and let it eat lettuce.
Like I said, it's not that weird if that existed. If that was normal, that when you went out to empty your bin, there was one of them sliding up the wall. you wouldn't even double take. It'd just be like, oh, there's the owl head peacock feathered thing.
I don't know why it's climbing walls in an effort to find lettuce.
Yeah, why is it climbing up that wall?
Because that's the only way it can see properly. Because its head's coming out like that.
So even though you've designed this animal, now you're even explaining its
got problems.
limitations.
Well,
Now
it's
got
mainly
problems.
made as to be on walls. 'Cause what else is living on walls?
Oh, God! Oh, fucking hell! What a useless animal that is! Carl, I mean.
But nature chucks up odd things, doesn't it?
Don't. Why are we starting on this again?
No, I'm just saying that is nature. Now and again, you'll get stuff that.
Oh, was he looking at you?
Yeah.
Was he really?
Look at his fucking head. Look at his stupid round fucking orangey head and oh.
Why aren't you a freak? You've got a little bald head. We're not meant to be bald.
Well, I was. I think that's the thing. That's what nature's done. You see, I didn't do anything with my hair when I had hair. I didn't style it. I didn't do anything with it, and it probably thought, "What am I doing here?" Whereas people who love their hair and they comb it and have different styles and look after it, they have hair for ages.
Nonsense.
No, nonsense.
Gobbledygook.
Absolute nonsense.
Well, you're saying that.
Absolute nonsense.
Well, it's a little bit weird, then, isn't it? And that's what happens with old people once they lose their, will to live. Once they lose the job, they get old. What's my purpose? What am I doing here? And it's like nature goes, you're not needed, and they die. Maybe that's what happened with the dodo. What's it doing? It can't fly. Its wings are useless. Eat it. Tastes horrible. Kill it.
No, they did eat it. I think they did eat it.
Yeah, but it wasn't very nice, was it?
I think they over-farmed it. I think that's why it was extinct. Because they did eat it.
No, but they did eat it, but they didn't like it. Everybody, you never saw like a fully eaten carcass of a dodo.
You're making this up again.
Eaten.
All conjecture.
No, but they didn't eat it all. Everybody would probably try it and go, it's not for me, that.
But you don't know
No
this.
idea,
You
you're
don't
just
know
making
this.
it up.
What's this based on? That people... And also, why would that kid it out?
Because I'll tell you why. Because if it's not nice, people don't get another one in. And they die out. The reason we've got loads of chickens and loads of cows is because we eat them. If we ate polar bears, we wouldn't be short of them. Because you'd farm it, you'd take more care, but what's a polar bear doing? Sat on a block of ice floating about. It's no use to us, is it? It sounds harsh.
Once
it's
again,
no
got
use.
his information from a Glacier Mint advert.
It's no use to us. We know they're there and all that,
Yeah.
but it's going to make them stronger.
If scientists could bring back to life the creatures that have existed in the past, do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
Bad idea.
Bad idea?
Yeah.
Now, leaving aside the horrors of Jurassic Park, do you think, for research purposes, it might be a useful idea?
I don't think it is. For me, it's like a Friends reunited. It's like people who you knew ages ago getting back in touch, and you go, I don't want to get in touch with you. That was then, and it's the same with a mammoth. That was then. You had your day. It didn't work out. Now to bring it back, it's unfair. You're messing with nature anyway. I think I've said to you before about I don't know what they do with them. They're massive things. I think it's like they're just not thinking about it. It's like rushing into buying furniture that's massive, and then you get it back and you can't get it through the door.
No,
And it'd be like that with a mammoth. Where are you putting them? Oh, I didn't think of that.
But what about if you could say you could feed the third world with mammoth meat?
But what's wrong with we've got loads of cows and stuff. Why do they need a mammoth? No one even knows what it tastes like. Imagine that. You bring it back and you've got another dodo on your hands. People go, this is this is horrible.
Well, they used to eat them because they again, what humans found out is they could take down a mammoth, but they got greedy and they found out they could chase them, and so they'd go over the edge of a cliff. And what they did, they went crazy and they used to herd them and they'd all die, but of course then they'd waste the meat because they couldn't eat it all.
Yeah. Well, that's I think that's why we shouldn't bring them back, because they are too big. So even if
Didn't hear a word of what you said then, didn't hear a word.
no, I did. Everyone can eat them, but the problem is they're so big that you couldn't eat it quick enough, so it all went off.
Yeah, but I was saying that they killed too many at once.
Yeah, I know. I heard that. But what I'm saying is, why not bring back an animal that's smaller, manageable for everyone?
Yeah.
That's why the chicken is perfect. Out of all the animals, perfect. Good size, feeds a family of 4. Whilst it's alive, it's giving you eggs.
I agree.
So it tastes nice.
But it doesn't if you think it's not had a good life. If suddenly said to me, I stopped eating it because I found out about how badly they were treated like 10 years ago, and at least I have organic. And honestly, eating an animal that's been tortured doesn't taste nice. Foie gras would make me vomit. The thought of it, the evil involved in torturing a goose because the liver tastes slightly better. I mean, where does it end?
I think if they're looked after, they don't want to die. The ones in a nice warm little, hut, being fed lovely food, you're going, right, we're going to cut your head off, and they're probably like, oh God, I'm going to miss this, I'm loving this life. Whereas the one sat in its own shit's going, have me first, I'm sick of it. There's different ways of looking at it.
Good point. So what you're saying is, give animals a bad life, torture them, and they'll be happy when you eat them. Brilliant.
But we've ordered we've ordered a turkey.
Right.
It's way too big. So I don't know what we're going to do with it. And it's worrying me now, actually. It'll be nice on Christmas Day, but it's my job to look after the kitchen and everything, tidy up. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it all.
The fact that he's been given a job to make him worthwhile, really, it's like a little home.
No, but a chicken, your chicken.
Arthur, you're washing up today, aren't you? Yep, Arthur's job.
And that's the problem with a mammoth. I think the idea of it's probably quite pleasant. You go, oh, that's something new to try out. But afterwards, when you got to tidy it up and stick it in cling film, you'll be going, how much of this have we got? So I wouldn't bring back the mammoth.
Brilliant.
Charles Darwin, of course, once said, I cannot persuade myself that a beneficent and omnipotent God would have created parasitic wasps with the express intention of their feeding within the living bodies of caterpillars. His point being that, creatures and their reproductive cycles are so complicated, so intricate, so bizarre, that alone is proof of the non-existence of God. Where do you stand on that?
It's pretty weird. We talked about it ages ago, didn't we, about the wasp that has a thing growing in it and all that.
Lays its egg in a spider.
Yeah, and then the spider goes mad, doesn't it?
You fucking cunt laying your eggs in me, you fucking stripy wanker. Goes absolutely fucking mad.
It is weird.
I don't
how-
know what's going up my arse in a couple of you fucking...
I don't know how it found out that that's what it had to do. That's the amazing thing, isn't it?
Well, it didn't, did it?
It just did it.
No, but when I say found out, I mean it just did it.
Well, it's like mimicry, when they say mimicry, you know, that there's a poisonous snake, and then a snake comes along that looks a bit like it that's not poisonous, but people go, oh, careful, it's poisonous. That snake didn't go, I'm gonna strain, and I'm gonna try and look like Scary over there. Some were born that looked a bit like Scary, and they survived.
You know?
It's just being chosen.
But that's changing now, isn't it? The fact that, like, when them frogs came out that are dangerous, they were just dangerous.
What frogs came out? But
There's some frogs in the jungle somewhere that were, like, pretty dangerous.
New from Mattel, Dangerous Frogs in the Jungle.
yeah,
But people didn't know that they were dangerous. And they were going about killing loads of stuff. Anyway,
they weren't going. No, they don't go around killing loads of stuff.
nature said, this is a bit unfair, make them orange. So then, the frogs that were orange were dangerous, but you got a warning. It's a bit more fair. Nature said, if they're going to go about being dangerous, make them orange, make them stand out. In a jungle, orange stands out in all the green, right? So people went, there's an orange frog, stay away. Then, over time, nature went, right, what's happened here now? Everyone knows the orange frog's dangerous. Birds aren't eating it because they know it's dangerous. People are avoiding it. They don't even need the poison, it's just the orange it needs. So now you've got a load of frogs that are orange, not even deadly. But people go, is that a deadly orange one, or is it a friendly one? Well, best to leave it.
Again, it's explained my point, but took 30 times as long over.
No,
So
but
in his
listen,
head-
let me finish what I was going to say. But what's interesting with all that is, evolution has taught stuff to lie. Because that orange frog isn't deadly, it's going about like it's the big I am.
yeah.
You could squash it with your hand, you can't do anything. But evolution
It's swaggering around.
it's made it lie. So lying is part of evolution.
But it's not lying, is it?
What do you mean?
Well,
It's got no
but the
poison.
interesting thing about like a toad that secretes a poison is that often it's no good for it as an individual, but it's good for the species as a whole, because someone will come along and chew it. Now that toad might well die, but that fox is sick and it doesn't eat another one. So it's sort of saving the species.
Yeah, but at the same time, the dodo tasted rubbish. Everybody said,
Yeah,
don't eat one
we
of them
don't know
again.
that. We don't know that.
Dodo.
We don't know that. We don't know.
I have read it. I've read that they don't taste very nice. But it didn't
Why
stop
doesn't it
dying
taste
out.
very nice?
It's
Why
just in the same way that chicken's nicer than duck. You can't all have nice tasting flesh. Pork's alright, but I prefer beef.
Point proven, good night.
So what I'm saying is, with the dodo, it did taste horrible, but everyone wanted to give it a go. Meanwhile, it's different people trying it, so it died out in the end anyway. So your theory of a frog being poisonous and a fox going, yeah, that's horrible, I won't eat another one of them. Then you get another fox trying one, and another fox. They don't all have a word with each other, do they? They go, I had a rotten frog the other night. So it's pointless. It's a pointless exercise.
What I like is your image of nature. This idea that sort of, in your head, there's Mother Nature sat around like a boardroom table,
Yeah.
making these decisions. People are coming in, oi frog, what's been going on? Well, I've been poisoning people. Why? What about you? It's just, you just picture everything as one large
Your
reason.
confusion is that you still think of evolution as a will. You still believe that things are striving to be something else, as opposed to surviving if they adapt or change. I just want to go through some of the wonderful diversity of nature, some of the incredible feats of the animal kingdom, in a way. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Alligators and old people have something in common. They can hear notes only up to 4,000 vibrations a second.
I don't know what you're meant to do with that information. When's that ever come in handy? When a band's getting together, they don't go, no, we're after crocodiles and old people. What sort of tune do they like? It's pointless.
You're not impressed, okay. Scientists have applied electrode to the pleasure centre in a rat's brain. The rat pressed a lever 48,000 times over a full day in order to receive that shock that seemed to him pleasurable, choosing the simulator instead of having water or food or sex. So it chose that virtual pleasure, well, not virtual pleasure, it gave it real pleasure, but an artificial stimulus rather than the real thing like food or water.
It
or
never
sex.
ate and had water. It never had a change.
No, it was addicted. It loved this electrode. It was giving it. It just made it feel good. It was getting as much pleasure from that as the real thing, from sex or food.
Yeah, but with any pleasure, you get sick of it, don't you? If you have too much of it.
Well, it had 48,000 hits in a day.
But I like having a Twix. But if I have more than 4 a week ago, I've ruined that little pleasure I used to like.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, what did it do the second day?
No,
Did it go near the machine the second day?
No.
Where you go then?
No. But what you're saying is this, right? That Twix is failing to give you pleasure on that 5th Twix, but this succeeds every time because it's literally pleasure. It hits the part of the brain that says this is pleasurable.
So,
But
my pleasure nerve that you're talking about in my head, it lights up when I have Twix.
I don't think it ever lights up.
Right.
I don't think you've got a pleasure nerve.
But it lights up when I have a Twix.
Right.
It lights up if there's some chicken, right? It lights
Fuck
up if
me.
there's
What a miserable cunt he is.
all loads of things.
Chicken and Twix.
That's it.
No.
That's all he lives for.
No.
Hang yourself, mate.
So, what you're saying is, if I had that device that the rat's got,
Yeah.
I'd just sit there, wouldn't I, hitting it, thinking, I can't be bothered going to the shop for a Twix, I'll just hit this button.
Yeah. Think of this. So aggressive is the horned frog of Argentina that people believe that if the frog bites the lip of the horse will die. Actually, the frog's mouth contains no poison. It earned its fearsome reputation because it attacks animals many times its size. What do you think of a frog
It's
attacking
ridiculous.
a horse?
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why that would happen. Why is it getting upset with a horse? Of all the things for a frog to be like getting cocky with, them two should never even meet.
Why?
Because it's not. I mean, fights are normally over something, aren't they?
Yeah.
If you ever fight with someone, you're in my yard, or you
Yeah.
know, you're fighting over something. A horse and a
The fact
frog.
that he immediately goes back to the 1930s.
Yeah.
You're in my yard.
But a horse and a frog. How did that disagreement
What are they swapping
happen?
over?
I don't understand what they've got in common. I don't understand it. I bet that's only happened once. It's a rare incident. Someone said put that in a book. I can't imagine it. But that's happening a lot. That horses are being bit by frogs all over the shop.
Oh God! I saw this trailer for this documentary that said the man who's having a baby, and I turned on, and it's a woman going through a sex change, and she's pregnant. That's not a man having a baby. That's a woman having a beard.
Having a breakdown.
Why is that? What? That's a con. That is pure sense. There's a man having a baby. Look, the world's first. No, it's the woman. It's a woman. What do you think of that? What would you do for your doctor? And I came to you and went, can't think of these. I don't. The penis. I hate it. I hate this cock.
But what do you mean you hate it?
I hate it. I don't want it there. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. It just sits there resting on these fucking awful testicles that I'm gonna get rid of. I want this thrown away.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, they're not a great look. I know that, everyone knows that, it's just the way they are. And if we're all being honest, they're an odd design. I don't think anyone likes their own, do they? That's why we cover them. They're not a great thing, are they?
What's this not why we cover them though, is
It's
it?
part of it, I think. I think deep down, I mean, even if, like, I know you hate the Adam and Eve thing, but even if back then he was like, good God, cover them up. And he had a leaf on.
No, but listen. So, are you thinking fundamentally then that aesthetically the testicles and the penis isn't as good as it could be? What would you have there instead?
Well, it's designed that way because that's the way it's got to be designed. It's more about function than
Yeah.
and that's the thing, isn't it? With modern technology,
You need, the thing is the testicles have to be outside because they have to be a few degrees below body temperature.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the Sertoli cells die, which sort of feed the semen and all that. So, they, to be functioning and sort of like fertile, they have to be outside, which is annoying because I'd put a little rib cage around them, like that. I'd pop a rib cage around those, protect them, wear a cricket box, have that built in, so you cannot get a swift kick in the bollocks that makes you feel sick.
But it'd be better if they could sort of reverse up in a way that they were hidden away.
Yeah.
So that they were just, then you dropped them, it's like, right, we need to cool them down, be at it in about half an hour.
Yeah.
Drop them down.
Yeah, like the gear on an aeroplane, landing gear. Yeah, and landing gear down, and the bollocks and the cooling down. Or you could just pop them in the fridge for 10 minutes.
It's
Well,
like
they could detach and you could pop them in the fridge. Cool
Yeah.
down.
Can you make me some breasts?
easy.
Okay. Go on, you say easy, what are you going to do? What's your plan?
Just, how do you do that? It's tablets, isn't it?
No, but
Testosterone, isn't it?
Testosterone? Toblerone. I want some Toblerone.
Well, sort of pointy tips, like Madonna.
Where do you stop though? Supposing I came to you and said, Doctor, listen, I like the bollocks, I like the penis, but I don't like them where they are. I want them in the middle of my chest. I want breasticles. Yeah? The arse, I don't like it round the back, I can't see what's going on. Pop that on the front where the bollocks were. I want my arse where I can look down and see what's going on. Can you do it?
I think it's just easier to move the head, isn't it?
Rick, I know you're a big fan of Professor Richard Dawkins, the evolutionary biologist. He wrote a book, The Ancestor's Tale, in which he predicted a post-human world. This was his kind of hypothesis. If we were well, let me read what he's written. If nuclear war destroys humanity and most of the rest of life, a good bet for survival in the short term and for evolutionary ancestry in the long term is rats. I have a post-Armageddon vision. We and all the other large animals are gone. Rodents emerge as the ultimate post-human scavengers. They gnaw their way through New York, London and Tokyo, digesting spilled larders, ghost supermarkets and human corpses, and turning them into new generations of rats and mice, whose racing populations explode out of the cities and into the countryside. When all the relics of human profligacy are eaten, populations crash again and the rodents turn on each other, and on the cockroaches scavenging with them. In a period of intense competition, short generations perhaps with radioactivity-enhanced mutation rates boost rapid evolution. With human ships and planes gone, islands become islands again, with local populations isolated, save for occasional lucky raftings. Ideal conditions for evolutionary divergence. Within 5 million years, a whole range of new species replace the ones we know. Herds of giant grazing rats are stalked by saber-toothed predatory rats. Given enough time, will a species of intelligent, cultivated rats emerge? Will rodent historians and scientists eventually organise careful archaeological digs and through the strata of our long-compacted cities reconstruct the peculiar and temporally tragic circumstances that gave rat-kind its big break?
Carl, thoughts?
I mean, who knows what's going to happen?
Well, that's about it for the second in the series of the Ricky Gervais Guide to. That was Natural History.
I think we've left no stone unturned there, Rick.
I think that is a definitive work. If you've enjoyed the Ricky Gervais Guide to Natural History, why not go back and listen to the Ricky Gervais Guide to Medicine, if you haven't already, or if you have, because it'll be revision. You know what I mean?
There will be a test.
There won't be a test.
There won't be a test.
We can't be bothered.
No.
And next in the series is the Ricky Gervais Guide to the Arts. Look forward
Sorry,
to
just
that.
to clarify, that's the arts.
Yeah.
Right.
Not the arse.
Sorry, just
yeah,
because
the
the way you
arts.
speak.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you should never go away people speak your words. Or
Oh, yeah, well, no, but just be clear.
Well, no, but you
Be clear, be clear.
clearly you're not being clear, aren't you? You're making bumbling fool. And we won't even get on to Carl Pilkington. Dopey. Twat. Anyway, thank you very much from me, Ricky Gervais, with me, Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Carl Pilkington.
Right.
Audible hopes you have enjoyed this program.
This audio program is presented by Audible.com. Audible, audio that speaks to you wherever you are.
Hello, I'm Ricky Gervais. Philosophy is the science which considers truth. So said Aristotle, one of the great forefathers of Western philosophy. In its attempt to seek out the truths and principles of human existence, philosophy must answer questions of beauty, of justice, of language, indeed, of the mind itself. To help me consider some of the core concepts and presumptions of philosophical inquiry, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, graduate of the University of Warwick, an award-winning writer.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And Carl Pilkington, a man with no education, didn't really go to school, no awards, head like a fucking orange, you know the twat.
Alright.
To me, philosophy might be the greatest subject of all academic subjects, the mother of science, asking the big questions, why are we here, how do we live? But it's been sort of mugged and kidnapped by those people who put rubbish under the umbrella of philosophy.
Right.
Cod philosophy. I went into a library once, I looked in the philosophy section, and there was a book by Doris Stokes.
Doris Stokes being, for those that don't know,
A medium who said she was talking to the dead. There's crystals, feng shui.
Feng Shui. Yeah.
Oh, God.
The interesting thing about Feng Shui is how, I remember someone came into an office I was working in once and she said, you're going to need crystal here above the lavatory to get all the negative chi out of the system. And she said, this crystal is £25. And the guy went, we're not going to spend that. And she went, okay, I got one here for £5.
Brilliant.
It was surprisingly convenient that she had a number of different crystals that apparently did the same job.
We're also going to need a brush to get the shit out of the toilet. What have you got for that?
Yeah, there's a lot of that twaddle. There was a woman I remember once, I used to do a radio show on the BBC World Service, and she came in and she could tell from the coloured liquids that you chose, from a big selection of coloured liquids, she could tell a lot about your personality from that. So I picked up about 3 or 4, and she looked at them and I chose like a blue one, just arbitrary, and she looked at me and she said, okay, I get the sense that you like to communicate with people, but on a global level.
And you were working for the World Service.
As we spoke, we were broadcasting on the World Service. I don't know where, I mean, she just read it from the liquids. As a novice, one of the key catchphrases, if you like, of philosophy, and one that's always intrigued and confused me a little, is the famous René Descartes quote, I think, therefore I am. A lot of people think of that as the epitome, in a way, of a philosophical statement.
First thing we ever did, I think, at degree level, and it's the one thing I'd already heard of. It's one of those things that sort of filters down, cogito ergo sum, as you say, I think, therefore I am, when Descartes was pondering his existence. Just before we get to his conclusion, Carl, how do you know this isn't a dream?
Just because I haven't been sleeping that well.
Right, okay.
No, but you could still be dreaming, couldn't you? Because this could be a dream that you haven't been sleeping lately. You could be dreaming the last few nights you haven't been sleeping.
In dreams, they're different. Like, I mean, like I say, I don't have that many of them because I don't sleep that well. But when I do have one, there's something different and vivid about it. Now, if I was dreaming all this, I reckon my boiler would have been fixed ages ago. I don't think anyone has a dream that goes on for that amount of time.
Well, it could be a nightmare, but the presumption, I think you're also presuming that the dream that you could be dreaming needs to be exactly the same as the dreams you think of when you're dreaming. My point is, there's no way of you knowing that this life you're living now as you talk to us is real, and that it's not actually the imaginings of another Carl somewhere else.
There are actually no clues, Carl. There are actually no clues now that this is the real thing.
Well, most of the time, it's 1 minute I'm awake, next minute I'm asleep, then I'm awake again.
Yeah.
Sleep's just...
You know the bit between
you being awake and awake again, that's called a sleep.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever think things while you're asleep?
Vivid things.
It's that bit between the awake and awake I want to look at.
I told you about one ages ago
Go on.
where you burst in and I was on the toilet.
I never heard this dream. Never heard about
the
this.
one that it was like everyone was